going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Folks, we're going to do a full breakdown of all four teams from the NFC South. Obviously, as you guys know, we got the Super Bowl winning Tampa Bay Buccaneers making lots of moves. But there's a team in this division that might shock you and might ultimately dethrone them. Go ahead and stay tuned because I got special guests with me, Isaac and Mike Williams joining me today, and we're going to give every team in the NFC South a grade. Stay tuned.
It's time to tune in. Now another sports center. It's a movement.
We are back from our break. Next division we're taking talk about is going to be the NFC South. They even took and they brought a Super Bowl champion this year. Isaac, man, take it away.
All right. We're going to save them for last. I'm going to start with the Atlanta Falcons. Hot Atlanta. I don't know. We'll see. They got Barkevious Mingo, who's somebody that, he's good, but he's never really realized his potential as a defensive end or a linebacker. So, maybe a change of scenery will be good for him, but he's definitely not somebody that moves the needle. But they did get a cornerback in Fabian Moreau that actually came from our team. He was in Washington, and he's somebody that kind of, when he puts it together, he's solid. But when he blows it, man. Like he's had some of the more comical blown coverages that I've seen in a while. There's a fun play where Curtis Samuel, when he was still on the Panthers, broke him off to high heaven. And thank God Kyle Allen overthrew the ball, because that would have been an 80-yard touchdown with maybe the next closest person 30 yards away. So Fabian, hopefully a change of scenery will help him shore up those issues. But other than that, he's fast and he's somebody that, covers ground. But really, that's the only two signings of note. They didn't really do anything to push the needle. They didn't do anything really to give, Julio Jones or Calvin Ridley or Matt Ryan any help on offense. And this is a team that's declining fast. You know what I'm saying? Their window, it's closed. Their window shut when they lost when they lost that 28-3 lead. They haven't been the same since. And I really don't see them climbing out of that hole with the team as constructed. I could be wrong, but I give them a D- because there's nothing really there for me, at least. Going on to the Panthers, they made some interesting signings. They got tight end Dan Arnold from Arizona. Sneaky, underrated tight end. I think he's one of the better running tight ends in the league, but he can also block. So he's kind of a best of both worlds guy. Sneaky athleticism. They got tackle Cam Irving. I think that was a really underrated signing as well. And they also got Pat Elflein. I think I messed that up, but two solid, not great O-linemen, but O-linemen nonetheless, which they definitely needed as well last year. They also got Denzel Perryman and Hassan Reddick to round out their linebacking core. Those are two solid signings that I like. I've been a huge Perryman fan for a while. I remember when he was at Miami, just pissing me off when we'd play them at Virginia Tech. So, I think they made some solid moves to kind of get better. I gave them a B- up to a B, because I think that they can really make some noise if given the right opportunities. Going forward, we got the Saints. They re-signed Jameis Winston. Drew Brees has retired after an illustrious almost 20-year career. So, we'll see how that kind of goes in transition. They still have their other quarterback. His name escapes me. I call him White Boy Boogie from BYU. I cannot believe I'm forgetting his name, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And then they got Ty Montgomery. That's a pretty good signing, somebody that can play both running back and receiver in a pinch. But again, these are losing what you've had in Drew Brees for the longest. I'm fairly certain Jameis Winston's not going to be the guy to replace that. Again, as with everything, I could be wrong. He might have a career renaissance. He's been sitting on the bench learning from him for the last year. Who knows? Maybe he comes back and, becomes a second Doug Williams. Personally, I don't see that happening. So the Saints.
Taysom Hill. Taysom was the guy.
Taysom Hill. There we go. Or Boogie. Thank you.
I was going to say, and I was just letting him do his thing,
Yeah, it just left my mind. I'm like, I know this guy. He's the guy that runs and he's white. There you go. But they didn't really do anything. So I mean, I have to give him a D. I don't. You're in a division with Tom Brady. Like, you need to get better, or you're gonna fall to the wayside quickly. He just re-signed, But speaking of the devil, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they by far had the best offseason, not only in their division for sure, possibly in the league. And they did that not even by getting a bunch of new people. They just re-signed pretty much everybody that they won a Super Bowl with. Like, they didn't lose anything. They re-signed Leonard Fournette. They signed Rob Gronkowski, he's coming back. Ndamukong Suh, he's coming back. Shaq Barrett, he's coming back. Levante David, he's coming back. Like, the gang's still here. And a lot of people were hoping, like, all right, Tom Brady, we let him get 7 rings, but they're going to lose all these other guys. They're going to lose it. No, pretty much everybody's still here. We'll still see with Antonio Brown, but I fully expect him to just go back, probably for a smaller deal, and bet on himself for next year, show that he's mentally stable. So he's the one wild card. But I mean, you literally signed pretty much every piece of every focal point of your Super Bowl winning team. They lost nothing to me. I that's my NFC pick. Unbiased NFC pick, at least. But yeah, that's the NFC South in a nutshell. Thoughts?
I mean, I agree 100% with the Bucs. Like, that's an A, and getting Shaq Barrett, who, has proven himself to be one of the best passers in the league at a $16 million clip. That's crazy. I think he could have easily got 20 if he went somewhere else. I think that was underrated. So again, I think they had an A. The Saints and the Falcons were in cap hell, really. So, like, they didn't have a bunch of stuff to do. Taysom Hill, I don't believe in. He's nothing but a gadget player. He played the quarterback against the Broncos when we played them, and it looked atrocious. It was that game was rough for him. They dominated because we didn't have a quarterback, but he has shown me he's not going to be a legit quarterback. I think Jameis Winston could take a leap. So getting him back on a $4.5 million deal or $5.5 million with up to 12. I think that's good. I like incentive-related deals for players with potential like that. The Panthers, I give them a C, man. I just think they were okay. Again, like, they made a few kind of moving pieces, but I still think they need their defense. They did a good job. Overall, I give them a C plus because the defensive signings I did like with the offensive stuff. I think they need a tackle. They still need another receiver. I think they need a few more things in their quarterback. It's like they don't believe in Teddy Bridgewater, or do they? We don't really know. So I just think that, like, they did that division outside of the Bucs, I think, was very average. That it might have been the worst collection of things that happened outside of the Bucs, who had the best. So I think that was they definitely are going to win that division again, like, unquestionably.
Awesome. Yeah, for the Atlanta Falcons, for me, man, that's a quick F-. Terrible, but nothing to see there. It's kind of like I don't know, man. It's like you walk in on your parents doing it, and then your dad's making your pancakes. You don't want to give them no eye contact. Nothing to see here. Just enjoy the pancakes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Atlanta Falcons, nothing to see there. Carolina Panthers. I got a little bit insider information. I recently had Marlon Tuipulotu from USC, and he was with Coach Matt Rule at the Senior Reese's Bowl. And he likes his defensive players, man. I definitely I see them making the moves. Denzel Perryman, Hassan Reddick getting hit from Arizona, super fast linebacker, by the way. Rashad Melvin, JJ Jensen. I mean, those are some good names right there. So I like that. And hey, it's looking like Teddy Bridgewater is probably gonna be there for a whole other year. That's what it's looking like at this point. You look at Coach Rule, his time at Temple, and then his time to Baylor, and him turning around programs. I have confidence with these signings. He's going to be able to do that. Mike, you brought up a really good point that you need another receiver. I mean, David Moore, that's it. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that they get another O lineman and then possibly like a wide receiver and possibly the second round. I think that would be a really good look for them, because if you're going to develop Teddy Bridgewater, this was supposed to be his shot to show that he could be a franchise quarterback, and you're failing him terribly. But when you sign 4 O linemen, I really like to take and see that. New Orleans Saints, I'm as you mentioned, Isaac, they're in cap hell. Definitely give them a D-. Not much to really see there. Jameis Winston, that could be expendable to a C+ if he ends up balling out, but we'll see. I feel like we've seen everything we needed from Jameis. And then, of course, Tampa Bay, I give them an A+. I'm going to rank them probably the highest out of any NFL team in this year's grading. I mean, they got pretty much everybody, and they just won a Super Bowl. And it's looking like you're going to be the first team to repeat in about 10 years. So, yeah, loving it. Yeah.
Led by the quarterback that did it last time. Like, it's just the rich just get richer.
Right.
And the rest of us live in poverty.
Time to tune in. Now another sports center. It's a movement.